A lot of folks are kind of scared about getting business loans in general from Chase. They think Chase is very strict, but Chase is not. To really get a a large amount from Chase for your LLC business loan, you got to really follow a simple logic that we have developed in the last 25 years that we actually share with a lot of our business clients. And you can get actually approved for up to $10 million in LLC business loans, but you got to follow the logic that I'm about to share with you into this conversation. So here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. So when you think about LLC business loans from Chase, especially large approvals, first of all, you got to think about the fact that you have a business line of credit, because Chase has a constellation of LLC business credit programs. So you have business lines of credit, you have small business loans, you have commercial real estate financing, and so forth. You have equipment financing, and so on and so forth. But I first want to talk to you about the business line of credit. So the business line of credit, you actually can get up to $500,000 if you have, let's say, a decent relationship with Chase. But if you have a tighter relationship with Chase, they can actually approve you all the way to $5 million. So this is kind of cool for your LLC, because you are able to have access to a revolving credit line for purchasing flexibility. And the cool thing is that with Chase, you have a 5-year revolving period and you have a 5-year repayment term. So think about the flexibility here. Fantastic, because for 5 years, Chase is not going to bother your ass. Is going to leave you alone, and you can use the cash for your LLC up to $500,000 and up to $5 million if you have a tighter relationship. So for 5 years, you have no payments, and for the next 5 years, you have to repay whatever you charged on the LLC business line of credit. So this is kind of cool. So this is for the line of credit. You also have small business loans here. The same thing. You have the same thing. You have loans up to $500,000. You have monthly installment payments, typically terms up to 5 years. Okay, and the cool thing is there are no origination fees, but now there are prepayment fees that apply for loans greater than $250,000, than $250,000. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. I'm just quickly talking to you about the LLC business loan from Chase. How do you get one? You also have commercial real estate financing from Chase. So basically, you can purchase, renovate, or refinance commercial properties. Here, you are basically getting loan approvals that go all the way to $10 million, and the term here, 25 years. So this is really, really cool. Now, let me give you the steps. So how do you get an LLC business loan from Chase with a large approval real fast? Okay. Now, first of all, you need to establish why you are borrowing and how much your LLC needs to borrow. This is quite essential. The thing is that if you want to get a loan from Chase, they are going to ask you. So you might as well just think about those things yourself. So you got to really have a clear idea why you are borrowing. Like, it's called the use of loan proceeds. You got to really think about, okay, do I need the cash for inventory? Do I need the cash for payroll? Do I need the cash for, like, you got to have a clear idea. And it's not about just using random numbers. No, you got to really justify. You got to contextualize the numbers you're putting forward. For example, if you say, listen, I need $75,000, you better have a granular idea why it's $75,000 and not $72,000. Or $58,000, because Chase is going to probe you on that. Okay, and you need also to think about how much you are borrowing and how much you are able to repay. Because see, it's not about saying, listen, I need 50 grand. Okay, you want 50 grand, but are you able to pay the 50 grand based on the revenue, based on the cash inflows that you are actually pulling in? Okay, so your revenue, your liquidity status in general should justify the amount you want to borrow, because you're going to have to repay that loan. You're going to have to repay that LLC business loan to Chase anyway. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to get an LLC business loan from Chase, a large loan from Chase, and get approved real fast. So this is important to really clarify how much your LLC does need to borrow and what your LLC needs to borrow for, right? You can borrow, like Chase will accept all kinds of business purposes for your LLC if you are trying to get a large business loan from them. For example, expanding into new product, services, and marketplaces, increasing your inventory to meet customer demand, investing in employees, okay, assets or equipment, refinancing existing debts for better terms and interest rates, for example, increasing your working capital to maximize opportunities, buying or renting real estate. So you have a constellation of economic conditions, economic opportunities that you will use to justify the loan, that the LLC business loan you want to get from Chase. Okay, just make sure that you do this thinking beforehand. This is important because Chase is going to probe you. They're going to ask you, so make sure that you have all the answers on that front. Here are the pro tips I really want you to think about. So you want to create a strong foundation for your LLC loan. What do I mean by that? See, the whole thing here is that Chase looks at a few things. You want to make sure you have your LLC documents ready. Chase is going to ask you things like articles of incorporation, not incorporation, articles of organization, because incorporation is for corporation, like S corporation and C corporation. But for LLCs, Chase will ask for articles of organization, and you got to get this document from the state. Chase will want to see your operating agreement, and Chase will want to see also your certificate of good standing. They'll ask about your registered agent if you have one. If you are your own registered agent, that's fine. But if you have one, they will ask you to provide the address, the name and address of this registered agent. They will want to see your certificate of good standing from the state. So basically, they want to see that you are indeed a legit LLC. This part is crucial. It is pivotal. Chase, like for the last 25 to 30 years, we have been monitoring Chase business credit transactions. They always ask this for LLC business loans, always. And so this is so they will ask for some licenses and permits also, so that your LLC has to provide those. So the cool thing is, if you have a legit LLC, chances are you have all those elements, on file. So this should not be a problem, especially in this economy where people are kind of like, you have the ups and downs of the stock market. You have banks are filing for bankruptcy here and there. The economy, some parts of the economy are really in a recession. So when you have an economy that's in turmoil, like the one we currently have, Chase is very careful to make sure that they don't actually lend to the wrong LLC, so to speak. So they also want to see a set of financial documents for your LLC, things like a balance sheet, a profit and loss, a cash flow statement, a statement of owner's equity. They want to see detailed projections of your future revenues, expenses, and profits based on multiple future scenarios. They want to see account statements for your LLC, like bank and credit card transactions, tax returns for you, pass-through income for your LLC on your 1040 and your LLC 1040 Schedule C, your debt schedule and repayment plan if you already have loans. And Chase will also want to see business documents for your LLCs. Basically, it really depends on, this is what I think I spoke about that little one, but now I want to go a little granular here. So the more supporting evidence in your LLC business documents, the better, because Chase will approve you real fast. Now, usually to get an LLC business loan from Chase, it takes about 10 business days. If you want to go like higher, like $500,000, it takes about 10 business days for the whole underwriting process to kick in and kick off. Okay. Now, if you want to accelerate things, if you want to be approved, let's say within 7 days or within 4 days, then you're going to have to make sure that you provide the right documentation. Okay. So basically, you want to have basic facts about your LLC, things like your name, address, industry, locations, and if you can provide your NICS code, that'll be really cool also. And Chase will also want to have an operating agreement for your LLC that shows how various aspects of the business are managed. So this is important because it gives an idea. It gives Chase an idea of who's doing what within the LLC. By the way, boss, I want to remind you quickly of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to get an LLC business loan from Chase. And so you also want to have an LLC business plan that details areas including a business overview, operations plan, sales and marketing plan, competitive market analysis, product and service overview, financial plan, projections, and the management team summary. So this is important. Sometimes we get the notion that some of our viewers are not interested in having a business plan, and this is a bad idea. It's really it's a killer idea. Your ass will be rejected by Chase if you don't have a business plan. if you are looking for an LLC business loan and you don't have an LLC business plan, your ass will be rejected. Let me repeat that. You will be rejected. Okay. I don't care how great you think your company is, your LLC is, or I don't care how profitable you think your operations have been. If Chase doesn't see a business plan from you, your chances of being approved are limited, and sometimes you can be just outright rejected. Okay, and also if you can show any legal documents and contracts and agreements you have in place with other third parties, especially the significant one that it's called the material documentation, then also you want to have those. So big decision time, boss. Big decision time. I've just shown you a series of documents. I've just shown you a series of requirements that you need to fulfill to qualify for an LLC business loan from Chase with a large approval. Do you have those documents? Are you a single member LLC? Are you a multi-member LLC? Are you a legit LLC? Do you have your articles of organization? Do you have your operating agreement? Do you have your certificate of good standing? Do you have all those things? Think about it, boss. Let me give you a bonus here. You need to understand that when we talk about getting an LLC business loan from Chase, there are other factors that can help you a lot. Okay. Now, everything happens at a branch though. Don't let people razzle-dazzle you telling you on YouTube you can apply for an LLC business loan from Chase online. Don't let people razzle-dazzle you. They're lying to your face. This is pure cap. If they tell you to get an LLC business loan from Chase online, it's pure cap. All right. Chase in some places, in some states in the country, allows you to apply for an LLC business loan online, but don't fall for that. Honestly, the best way to actually get a high loan, let's say a high loan amount, is actually to go to a branch, sit down with the loan rep, and have a conversation first. You want to study your application. You want to see the ins and outs, go granular, ask all questions, and then in the end, you know exactly whether you qualify, whether you could qualify, because there could be an opportunity for a soft pull also. Yeah. I mean, if you go to the website, you're not going to pre-qualify for an LLC business loan online. But if you actually go to a branch, you can have a system of quasi soft pull, whereas you are asking questions and you can test the waters and see how much you can qualify for if you were to go full in. Okay, and make sure you also have make sure you have your business licenses and operating permits. Make sure you have your LLC's EIN. This will help you, especially if you are trying to apply for this loan EIN only. You can actually do that too. You can apply with EIN only for your LLC business loan if you know how to apply. I mean, we have committed a series of videos on the subject. But if you are still interested, if you're still confused about the subject, let us know in the comment section, and we'll just let you know. We'll answer your question, all questions that you have about how to apply for an LLC business loan with EIN only. Make sure that you have a strong personal financial history and credit score. Okay, Chase will consider you if you have 600. That's the minimum that Chase loves to have. Chase will actually loves to see a business history and track record that shows that your business has actually survived and grown. Okay, you need to have at least 2 to 3 years so that you are able to boost your approval odds and a business credit score also. If you have a high credit score, Chase will love that. I want to also talk to you about collateral, personal guarantees, and LLC business loans at Chase. The thing is that in some cases, depending on the kind of transaction you want to have for your LLC business loan, Chase might require some kind of collateral or personal guarantee Collateral, for example, if you are doing an LLC business loan for equipment financing, automatically this is a collateralized business loan, right? Because Chase will want to have title in that equipment, so that if something were to happen, if you start playing games and not actually paying them, they'll just repo the equipment and actually recoup they'll repo the equipment and recoup their losses. Okay, and in some transactions, basically Chase will require, let's say, a personal guarantee. So it really depends on your financial profile. It depends on your LLC business profile also. It depends on the revenue you have, your cash inflows and cash outflows. So Chase actually does a multidisciplinary analysis of your LLC to see the sector you're in. I mean, right now in the economy we are in right now, I mean, things are uncertain. You never know. Banks are filing for bankruptcy here and there. Companies are filing for bankruptcies. The stock market is doing yo-yo with your heart rate. Like, there are a lot of things. People are stressed, whatever. I mean, you have a constellation of uncertainty, of uncertain terms, and basically Chase wants to make sure that they get a personal guarantee so that if something were to happen, they know you are guaranteeing the LLC business loan. Now, there are cases where they waive the LLC. They waive the PG. So they will actually waive the PG requirements, so you can get the LLC business loan based on your LLC's financial profile. So this is what we call EIN only, okay? And otherwise, you might also have a blanket lien. So a blanket lien means that Chase can lay claim to any or all of your small business assets if you default on your LLC loan. And with a blanket lien, you don't need to define your collateral upfront, but all of your assets are liable to be seized and sold up to the total value of your LLC business loan. So hey, listen, it is what it is. It is very important to know that the liability protection offered by the LLC does not apply if you make personal guarantees or otherwise agrees that your personal assets can be used to settle the balance of an unpaid loan. Let me give you the approach I want you to follow right now if you are interested in getting an LLC business loan from Chase. So you need to understand that Chase respects the LLC type of legal structure, because Chase understands that you are trying to protect your personal assets by actually having an LLC. Chase understands that. Chase understands that LLCs are a separate legal entity from you, which means that they have their own assets, liabilities, bank accounts, and so on and so forth. But Chase has to see that in reality, you are indeed actually separating your personal affairs from your business's affairs. So Chase has to see in reality that you are basically, you have an LLC business checking account that is separate from your personal business, your personal account. That you are not really, you're not confusing expenses. You're having, for example, business credit cards and LLC business credit card for your business expenses and personal credit card. So Chase has to see that in reality. When I mean in reality, I mean for real. They have to see that. You have to show them proof that you indeed have processes and controls in place to separate, to segregate, to divorce your personal affairs from your business affairs. Okay. And one thing that Chase also pays attention to is they look at your financial statements. So they look at your financial statements and they're trying to reconcile that to your tax returns. So whether you're a single member LLC or a multi-member LLC, they'll reconcile your financial statements to your 1065 or to your 1040 Schedule C. That way they know exactly that the income you are reporting in your financial statements matches the income you are reporting to tax authorities. That way they know you're not playing games. That's how they actually that's how they reconcile your income. So because what happens here, that when you actually are looking for an LLC business loan from Chase, they'll ask you for income, they'll ask you for revenue, they ask you for quarterly, they'll ask you for 6 months, they'll ask you for monthly. So they will do like some kind of historical analysis when it comes to your revenue, but they just want to make sure your revenue is consistent and based on truth, because I mean, they trust you, but hey, listen, Chase is a bank, and it's a behemoth. They have all kinds of resources to do due diligence before actually granting you the loan. But the loan, as I said at the beginning of this show, can go all the way to $5 million. Not a problem. Chase does have the balance sheet. Chase does have the financial heft. Chase does have the acumen in-house, the expertise in-house to actually accompany you on all kinds of LLC business loan transactions and fund you. Not a problem. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just explaining to you quickly how to get an LLC business loan from Chase. And I gave you the overview, the steps to follow, the pro tips, the bonus, and the approach. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.